All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Freezin for NFC North Podcast, episode 155, green and tie-dye. Bears max out, Lions roll, and Vikings pass out in Dublin. Plus, Week 5 NFC North previews. Once again, thanks for joining us, everybody. I am NFL Outdated. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter X. And you can find us on Freezin #4 pod on TikTok and find me on NFL Outdated on the Instagram, on the gram. Welcome again, Dre. As we get started, where can everyone find you, sir?
You can hit me up on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. It's at Skullman Sports. Love to be back, even in L's, so I'll take it.
Well, I appreciate that. You are a gracious Vikings fan, and I'm glad having you on as well. And we will see about Seventh Letter. He may be joining us soon. He is actually abroad, so we will see if he will actually be able to join us. But welcome in, and our Packer guy for tonight, has joined us quite a few times. Lane, where can everyone find you as we get started?
Everybody can find me on Twitter at lhankins4. I'm also on TikTok posting stuff here and there. So those are the spots to find me.
You know, I feel like all the Packer fans we have on here, or at least, relatively even keel. And so really, I enjoy all the Packer guys that are on here. But you really, I mean, when you talk about Packer fans, you're the minority. I'm sorry, but Lane, but when you look at Packer fans, I mean, obviously, you're the cream of the crop, my friend.
Well, I've said on here before that a lot of them are delusional, and they like to look at not necessarily just recent success, but overall success, and assume that that's going to happen every year, every season, every week. And that's just not the case.
Well, I definitely enjoy having you on, and we'll get into that and all of that coming up. And hey, welcome again. You're abroad, and you are still joining us. Seventh Letter. Where can everyone find you?
Oh yeah, Daddy's home with Mrs. for the World. Top of the NFC North again, where I belong. I told you. Seventh Letter 4, Twitter X, same OG, Instagram, Facebook. I set the alarm 4:30 in the morning for this.
Well, I'm glad you're. What? Son. Like this is more entertaining. When the Lions are winning, it's more entertaining. I have to say that.
Hey man, don't start with me.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started on the Vikings. Obviously, they were the first game and early on Sunday. And I put in the description, Vikings pass out in Dublin. I drank too much or something. Aaron Rodgers overwhelmed them. Just not enough in the Emerald Isle. 24-21 loss to the Steelers. So pass out some blame for your Vikings, Dre.
I mean, I wouldn't say blame so much. I would say more just conditional effects. I mean, offensive line, like that. The offensive line, we were down to at minimum 3 people, and then like in the latter half, 4 people. And so, I mean, for the first little bit, they were talking about the Steelers' defensive line and how like they quote unquote weren't producing. And then as the game went on, they got to a point where, this is what we expected them to be. But they were against like a injured offensive line, so it made them look a lot better. I mean, I think that's where most of the blames go for this game is toward the injured offensive line. And then second to that, I would say arguably our run defense again. I think we have generally struggled with more dynamic running backs. Like obviously Bijan, when we played Atlanta, was like a monster. Even though he didn't score, he still had a massive game. And then Gainwell did really well. I will say I do think Tomlin kind of hid that until the last moment. I think like arguably I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was very, very like it was either late Saturday night / Sunday morning that they kind of let that spill that Warren wasn't playing. So I think the Vikings honestly planned a little bit more for that. And then when Gainwell came in, they didn't play it. But kudos to Tomlin for, I guess, playing that up. And Gainwell had a really good night. So really good, I guess, morning, afternoon, however you want to look at it. I think that's where the most blame would go to, or those two big things.
Yeah, absolutely. And Aaron Rodgers smiling. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but that kind of if it was against any other team, I probably would not have liked it. But it was against the Vikings.
Didn't have that good of a game though.
He was celebrating a fumble. He was smiling against fumble. So Aaron Rodgers is smiling, having
200
fun.
yards, and most of it came on one pass to get Metcalf, and that was it.
He's having fun, Lane. Everything's right in the world. Aaron Rodgers is having fun though.
If you want to say right, it's still weird seeing in black and gold instead of green and gold. But I mean, it wasn't his greatest game, but they were able to pull it out. Both Rodgers and Wentz had a great first half. There was maybe 3 or 4 incompletions between the both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So they started off great. Was it great production wise? Not necessarily, but it's not like they were bad. But
I mean, Wentz had statistically a much better game. 2 interceptions, I'll admit, but outside of the 2 interceptions, he had a great game. 350 yards, that's a good game. And it wasn't it wasn't garbage time either. Stats, he actually was trying to push the ball down the field, and they were trying to win it at the end. He was having a really good game. Rodgers, I mean, yeah, he's old, so there's some iffiness to that, and yeah, that one really good Metcalf play was obviously. That was more on Metcalf than it was on Rodgers. Metcalf is the one that ran 65 yards. Rodgers didn't pass it for 65 yards.
I've been told it's good to be a winning quarterback. I've been told wins are good.
That's all that matters.
And obviously you're the Catbird seat, 7th letter. Are you worried about these Vikings at all, or not really? No.
Not a bit. Not a bit.
Where he's sitting, I wouldn't be either.
Not a bit.
And I say that from a Vikings fandom. I wouldn't be either.
Not one bit. Not one bit. Look at my.
Hey, going back, I think was it? I think you and I were the ones that picked Pittsburgh 7th letter. I know I did.
Yeah, I picked Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I thought they have. I don't know, something up with that. The second. I don't know. To have Darius Slay and Jalen Ramsey and still get
neither of them had a good game though.
I know that's what I'm saying. It's surprising. It's just surprising.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They turned you over a couple times. The Steelers, but I mean they still allowed them to have 350.
Poetic justice was the fact on that one fake the one fumble return, and then he tried to fake the hamstring injury the next quarter, actual hamstring injury.
Yeah, I don't like
this
that.
Poetic justice.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the people. Ross St. Brown did that last week. I don't like that.
Jefferson did that 2 years ago, and look where he. I was none of that, please.
Looking at the Jefferson's still 126 yards, Addison's still 114 yards, so they got the yards, but the Steelers were able to at least keep them out of the end zone.
Well, that was playing. Addison got his on that long one.
Yeah, the 80-yard and then the linebacker.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like that. He had 350 because of he was trying to come back. The Steelers kind of was up on y'all early, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to play. They was throwing the ball a lot. So it wasn't garbage time, but it was a little bit of hero ball yards, trying to get back into the game, So
I mean, I look at it as trying to win. Like, I think that's how it is. Like, I'll take that over garbage time stats.
he's still a bum nonetheless.
We're talking about Aaron Rodgers, right? Right?
No, Carson Wentz.
All right, let's move on to the Lions. Obviously, when you look at, it was total domination pretty much. Lions roll over the Browns. Hand out some helmet stickers for the Lions win over the Browns, 34-10.
It wasn't even it wasn't really a rollover. It was like Browns offense gave them nothing.
Mm-hmm,
What I mean? I feel like the first couple of quarters, the defense played tough. It was more so that we had a punt return, we had a short field because of the two interceptions and a fumble. So it was kind of like the same way. It reminded me of the Ravens game. The Ravens game was like 41 or something, but the offense gives them nothing. So it's not really. I give a helmet sticker to the defense and the special teams. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the offense. Jameer scored twice. I mean, he did have a pretty good game against them, 91. 91. Yeah, he had a pretty good game, but it wasn't that kind of game. That defense is tough. So yeah, it was. But that's why we better than y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see how we can win so many ways. That's why we better than y'all, and this is why we the kings of the North again.
All is right in the world when seventh letter is
this is wild. You can win so many ways. Special teams, defensively, offensively. There's so many ways.
I mean, it was at home though. It was at home.
Huh? It wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't.
Hutchinson is back, I think, at this game. I think he had like his best statistical game in the first 4 weeks of this past game. So
did he get hurt?
He's back.
It looked like he was going to get hurt, or he got hurt a little bit. And he went back in though, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And had a strip sack. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. We back, bro. We are back. God. Now we lost both cornerbacks, both starting cornerbacks, and we played the Bengals on Sunday, but they don't got no quarterback, so we should be all right.
That sounds like a win for y'all.
Well, and we'll get to that too. So, speaking of another team that is back, my Bears, we rolled the dice, blocked the Raiders in 25-24 win, week 4 in Las Vegas. Handed out some helmet stickers. Obviously, Caleb Williams, he, fought through some tough throws. Max Crosby, he is a beast.
Yeah, you got to give a helmet sticker to Max Crosby. Even as a Bears fan, he was destroying everybody.
To Swift?
The Geno Smith.
Oh.
Give him a helmet sticker. That's the only reason why y'all won. The only reason. He threw the ball by twice. Then sit him down, but they can't because they don't have nobody else.
They don't. So, but here's the thing: even Max Crosby gave kudos to Caleb Williams, like fighting through and driving us down at the end. Obviously, I was a little worried because we left too much time on the clock, and then we got the nice blocked field goal, and so it was an ugly win. I was not at all satisfied with it, but fully. But those are the kind of games that last year we lose. And a win is a win.
That's fair.
And obviously some of the headlines from that game as well. Ben Johnson staring down that reporter. Tell you what.
They blew that up a little bit. Yeah.
They absolutely. Come on. I mean, what do you think? Like, these coaches are fired up. They want to win. Lane, you've kind of been on the sideline for some Packer games in the past as well. Did they kind of blow that up a little bit?
A lot of the times, anything to do with the media gets blown up just because they want to make a story out of it. That definitely was that. Nothing that doesn't happen throughout the week, at practice or post practice or anything like that.
And when you look at obviously this game, the Bears won it. Are you scared of the Bears now?
I wouldn't necessarily say scared of the Bears. but I can see the improvements that have been made and are happening as the season progresses.
Yeah, and the thing, we had Theo Benedette, at tackle, and obviously, his stats against Max Crosby were amazing, and you got the rest of the line not doing well, but take a look at what Theo Benedette did. So let me see if I can find it here. I had it here, but when you look at okay, here we go. Theo Benedette did well. Actually, it was Ozzie Trapillo versus Max Crosby. 40 snaps, 26 passes, 14 run, 0 sacks, 0 QBH, and 2 hurries. So you got patchwork offensive line on some of the ends here, and trying to figure it out. And that's what I've been worried about. Obviously, we had some of the newcomers as well, but when starting to get it figured out, some of these young tackles we're starting to get things figured out. And I think that's what I think the rest of the North should be worried about. Caleb's starting to figure things out, driving down and making plays. Obviously, DeAndre Swift getting into it, and Rome Odunze, just emerging as the number 1 wide receiver for the Bears. Also, I'm not sure if you know, but Rome Odunze has created separation versus man coverage better than any wide receiver in the NFL this year. Rome Odunze versus man coverage. That's a win right there. I'll take that.
That's nobody game planning for him yet.
What's that?
No one's game planning for him yet.
Oh, hey, bring it on. Because then we got DJ Moore as well. So, hey, I'm excited. You can't throw a cold water on me this week. We are exactly where I told you, didn't I? I said 2-2. Exactly what I said. I'm going to bring it up. I said after 4 games we'd be 2-2. We are right where I said we're going to be. We're on target for 11-6. 11-6, baby.
But Crosby had a offensive line, at least on the end, at least on one side, is not great.
Oh yeah,
and then Genty had also a really good game for a show.
He did. I'm a little worried about the run defense.
They
Absolutely,
they still try to throw the ball. Get a ball to Genty, man. Yeah.
You know what? You know what happened though? We still won.
I mean, yes, I'll give you all that. A win's a win. A win's a win.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I give that.
So, and the cool thing about the rest of the season, we don't play against Max Crosby anymore. So,
I mean, that's true.
Caleb said that's the best football player.
Well, let's move on to the most perplexing game of the week. I don't really know what I was watching there. But the Packers played not to lose in the end, losing 40-4.
Best game result
tie,
of the week.
Losing, tie, whatever it is, 40-40, week 4. All right, Lane. Pass out blame. I don't know if you could do helmet stickers.
Lane.
What's the tenor of the Packers fans here?
Well, you said that the Bears are at 2-2, right where you would put them. Where I had put them on this show, where Green Bay when I put them on there was 2-2, but not losing the games that they tied and lost. I thought it would be flipped. It was interesting having the best defense in the league for 2 weeks, and I think that put a lot of hope into the fan base that has been crushed over the last 2 weeks. And you said, what was I watching on Sunday night? Well, you were watching a really good game for the most part.
It was entertaining for sure.
The ending was just confusing. I will give a helmet sticker out to Jordan Love because he did play very well. 300 plus yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He played well. Romeo Dobbs, multi-touchdown game. He ended up with 3 on the night. He gets a helmet sticker. Rich Bisaccia, I hope they left him in Dallas because he did not make any changes to the special teams like he claimed because they still had issues. Matt LaFleur, I don't think he's on the hot seat, but I do think he does deserve a lot of criticism because he has played as a very conservative coach over the years, and it has cost them. And this was a very easy opportunity to win a game, and he was too worried about losing the game to attempt to win the game.
So bizarre. Like, yeah,
Playing not
how
to
they
lose.
how they just like
As soon as they got in field
wasted
goal
so
range,
much time.
I was like, they're playing for a tie. What are they doing?
Yep.
And they got so lucky even to have that 1 second left on the clock. Like if
They
it
did,
Yeah, they did.
And I think
So-
Jordan was very confused on that because he kept putting his hands up and looking at the sideline while trying to call something. So I think he was waiting for a play call to come in, and nothing was happening because they had already decided we're going to kick the field goal and tie.
So I'm going to kick this right here to a seventh letter because last year something similar happened to my guy in Detroit, and he lambasted him. He threw him under the bus. He got behind the driver's seat of the bus and drove him over, backed over him. And you said Caleb Williams, he basically he was trying to look at the sideline. He should have known. So Jordan Love, he's got this massive contract, seventh letter. Please lay into Love here.
I don't think LaFleur really trusted him. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think he really trusted him. Like at the end, like because Jordan can become a little reckless. So I think he was just kind of, let's just not turn the ball over like we did last week.
Franchise quarterback lane that you don't trust. I don't know about that. Like,
I don't know, man. I don't know. He ain't no Jerry Goff, man.
I don't know that it's a trust issue. I think LaFleur had just made up his mind that they were going to tie, so he just wasn't going to call anything. Because Love had played great all game, and he had let them down multiple times to either take the lead or tie the game. So why wouldn't you trust that?
Yeah, it was so bizarre.
What's up with that defense, man? What's up with that defense?
I mean, I will say there was a lot of holding calls that I noticed not getting called on
the Lambeau calls you usually
Gary, but otherwise the defense looked terrible. Yes.
Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I mean, they let up over 400 yards, like second most NFL ever, like as a defense. Like for the so-called, and I say this and not saying that the Vikings are a good, like the great defense, but so-called one of the better defenses in the entire NFL.
For 2 weeks, just 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know, just 2 weeks, but like everybody was like screaming
Top
it.
five
Like, this was the line in the media.
I can't wait.
I don't know.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
I mean, you look at it, it's just like there aren't really any words to really describe this game. I mean, other than like, obviously, what's that?
The Packers notoriously play down the competition.
Yeah.
Sorry, they did it last week. They did it against the Browns notoriously. The Giants, every time you see the Giants, like they notoriously play down the competition. All for years.
Although
I will say this was one of the games that like I was just like, can just both teams lose? I hate the Cowboys.
Did you say that last week? Yeah.
I hate the Cowboys for multiple reasons. Like, but even before I moved to Philly, and then once you move to Philly, you got to hate all the Cowboys. And then growing up as a 90s kid / early 2000s Vikings fan, you're hating the Packers. So these are arguably the two teams that I despise the most. So this was the best outcome for me. And then for Eagles fans, and then fantasy, like I have a friend of mine who's a big Eagles fan who has Pickens in his fantasy lineup. And I was telling him that like you had the best outcome. Pickens had arguably one of his best fantasy outcomes ever. And also the Cowboys did not win. Like it's weirdly like one of those games that I was just like, I'm okay with it, just for my own fandom basis. I have no problem with how this game turned out. I will say it was weird. They didn't like really push it at the end, but yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm not gonna fight the result.
I will say, and I can't believe I am the voice of reason for the Packers on this podcast this week, but if the Packers turn it around, this could actually be to their benefit. If they obviously, have the same amount of wins or close at the end, this could be their benefit. Maybe LaFleur will be a genius to Packer Nation at the end of the season. Who knows?
No.
Rather have them in regardless.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Well, let's move on to obviously this week the two of our teams are on bye, but let's move on to the games for this week. And when you look at the Vikings game, that's the first one for the division. They're playing in London versus the Browns, -3.5, 36.5 over under. I think this could be a snooze fest. It could be like it. I wouldn't doubt if it was like 6-3 or something. But give us some keys to this game, Dre. And is JJ McCarthy going to play?
Well, first off, JJ McCarthy, I don't think he's playing.
Okay.
But I guess it depends on what how you like watching football. Like, is a totally defensive game a snooze fest? I mean, yeah, like I think it's going to be like in that sense, like a strongly defensive game. I think Seventh Letter touched on it, like with the Browns, their offenses, even with Gabriel coming in. I mean,
here come the heat.
You can't speak volume. You can't speak really anything towards the Browns. At the end of the day, you can't. Aside from Myles Garrett, you really can't. I mean, yeah, they have a great defense. Their corners are great. And honestly, if the Vikings had a better non-injured offensive line, and Wentz was able to execute relatively decently, I would say the Vikings have a little bit more of an advantage. Having said that, yeah, if Myles Garrett can push past School really fast, it's gonna be a very defensive game. Because the Browns have had weaknesses on their offensive line, and especially with a rookie quarterback, there's a lot of a learning curve with that. So, and the Vikings defense has been decent, whether or not everything shows out to be that. Like I said earlier, even versus the Steelers, they had a decent defense playing. Outside of that, that one big play to Metcalf, Rodgers outside of that was under 150 yards. That's not a good quarterback day. So passing defense, they have been playing decently. Their run defense, like I also said, has been issues with pass receiving running backs. I don't think the Browns have that, even with their rookie guy,
Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah, I don't think he's the same thing. He's not on the same level as Bijan, or honestly, even Gainwell at this point. They're very different type of players. I think. I think he's more he's more. I guess he leans more toward a more head steady running game. And honestly, the Browns, as we showed last week versus the Lions, they struggled versus a 1-2 running back thing. That was the thing. I think they didn't do well with that. And I said that last week, going into it, I think the Browns could struggle with that, because that's where, honestly, they're not. I don't think when I was looking at the numbers, they're not as a good defense as the stats show, because they use the really low numbers. It's been 4 weeks. So they use the really low numbers when they played the Bengals, and so that really brings their defense numbers and the yardage down a lot. So I really feel that they've only been as good as the past 3 weeks, and obviously last week they were not that good.
They were all right.
Like they were not that good. And so I think numbers wise and on paper, the Vikings, if the offensive line can somewhat hold some decency, Wentz can get the ball out fast enough to Jefferson, to Addison. Maybe Mason is able to do decently. I liked what I saw last week with Xavier Scott being kind of a faster, kind of taking place of Aaron Jones type of player. I mean, Scott was he was a wide receiver in college, and he has the speed of honestly Gibbs. I'm not saying he's as good, but he has the speed and like relative aspects of him. On paper, I feel the Vikings could do damage. Having said that, the pros and cons of both teams kind of complement each other. And I think that's where it leads to more of a defensive game between the two. Obviously, I'm going to root for my team over the Browns, but I'm going to say 14-7. Again, I'm bad at these type of predictions, but a 2-touchdown to 1-touchdown game, I mean, fine. Like,
so are you saying the Vikings are going to win?
Yeah, I think they are, because of the fact that I will say at the end of the day, the Vikings offense, like I would say relatively their defenses, they can play off of each other. They don't play against each other, but I think because of the rookie aspect with the Browns versus the really good defense with Flores versus the really good defense with the Browns versus the really whack offensive line that they have going for the Vikings. Again, like I said, the pros and cons, both teams like kind of like outweigh each other, but I will say the offense based on Jefferson, Addison outweighs the offense on the Browns.
So Lane, are you kind of like, obviously, the Browns shut down the Packer offense. I mean, are you thinking that the Vikings are going to have any more luck versus the Browns at all?
Well, the Browns defense is pretty good, and that's all they have going for them for the most part. But I still think the Vikings win this one. And traveling overseas, I would hope, I haven't seen anything differently, but I would hope the Vikings just stayed over there instead of coming back and then going right back over.
Yeah, they have been staying there. Yeah.
That's what I figured they would do, because that just makes sense. And Cleveland coming over, they're going to be tired. They're going to be slow. They're going to be adjusting still. So I think a lot of things work in the Vikings' favor, aside from playing that Browns defense, which is still going to disrupt them, but I don't think it's going to disrupt them enough for Cleveland to pull out a win, especially in a first starting debut for Dylan Gabriel.
All right, so you are going with the Vikings as well. All right, seventh letter. I mean, you saw these Browns, and obviously you dominated them, but you have a dynamic offense. So are you thinking the Vikings are going to win here?
They better watch out. They better watch out. It's the way they play defense. So sports. He uses 4. He doesn't blitz a lot. A lot of base defense. There's going to be a lot of people out there playing the pass. So if you're not able to get the run game going, it'll be close. It'll be kind of like our game. It was a close game until the end of the third quarter. And if you're not able to run the ball on them, the game will be closer than it has to be. Mm-hmm. It'll be just like the Packers. Like, it's easy to fall into a trap because all they need is a turnover.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know a turnover. Judkins is the way he runs. He wears down defensive lines. Like he was kind of, doing that to us too. It's just that they had to start passing because we was up 20-10 on them.
Mm-hmm.
So if y'all not able to run the ball, the pass game would be like, you'll be surprised because they can kind of like Denzel Ward can kind of. I wouldn't say the edge goes to Jefferson, of course, because he's the best in the world at the moment. But that's a respectable person guarding you, so they'll get there. You know what I'm saying?
You just have to get him the ball too, though.
That's true because I don't trust Wentz.
Mm-mm.
So the Vikings can win. You know what I'm saying? They should win, but just don't play. Don't let them stay close because all they need is a turnover. That's what happened to the Packers. You just kind of you rock your sleep. Now we're in field goal range.
So the one thing I will say when it comes to running games, I think generally speaking, like again on paper, not to equate these two people, but I'm gonna just give a situation here, okay? So there's two running backs, right? One is in the past 4 weeks has had 58 attempts. One has had 56 attempts. They both have had 271 yards. Which one is Mason and which one is Gibbs?
Oh,
two different types of potatoes, though. You know what I'm saying? That's
no, I'm just saying from a numbers perspective. That's all I'm saying. From a numbers perspective, I'm not saying Mason is equal to Gibbs, but I will say Gibbs. I'll say Gibbs has run slightly worse and not significant, but slightly worse than Mason has on a productive standpoint.
Gibbs
and if he's able to produce,
he had two really good games. You know what I'm saying? He had I won't say really good, but he had a good game against the Browns. He had a good game against. I wouldn't even say he had the greatest game against the Ravens. That was a Montgomery game. But it's yes, the yards. You can they like that, but they're two different types of runners. And
right,
like
I don't disagree.
Montgomery wasn't as successful as Gibbs was last week.
But I will say Mason was the opposite effect in the sense he was in the other games that he's had, was the number 2 running back. So the last 2 games, versus the Steelers and then versus the Bengals, he was the number 1. The prior 2 games, he was the number 2. I would say Gibbs was the number 1 the entire time.
Yeah, the Bengals don't count though. That don't count. They have no defense.
So this is what I enjoy about Vikings fans. All right. And Dre, you were actually in the my favorite camp. All right. You're not the most entertaining camp of Vikings fans. The most entertaining camp of Vikings fans on Twitter are the ones I think maybe too evil to hope. Saying, the season's over and just like everything's nuts. Like it's just the sky is falling. We got quarterback controversy between Wentz and JJ, all these crazy things. So that's entertaining. I love Vikings Twitter for that. But the other part of it is a lot of Vikings fans trying to sell them into a Wentz or Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason's good, but he's not Jahmyr Gibbs. Come on.
I'm not saying that he's Jimmy Gibbs. I'm not saying that. Jahmyr Gibbs is really good. Don't get me wrong. I am actually like when the Vikings played the Lions.
Yeah, that
dual running back thing I'm very fearful of that. Like I actually think like when it comes to the division, I am actually, and even in the next like few games.
Yeah,
the Lions game is the most worry that I have. Like in the next 5 games, when we play the Lions, that is the one that I have the most worry about. I think that they I have been I had my reservations about the coaching and everything, but given what I've seen, I will give the Lions flowers. At least in the past 4 weeks, they have played well. They had the one bad week 1, and then they bounced back, and they bounced back with the fury. So I will give them the flowers there. I will say to Evil, to Hope, wherever, say, no Ginkle, no Cashman. I get that. And no run defense. But again, you can't look at just the Bijan games and just the Gainwell games as really being awful. Like
I don't know. I see no Van Ginkle, no Cashman.
No. I'm not saying they don't have an effect, but the thing is, those types of runners are very different from Chase, the Bengals running back.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, Chase, and then versus honestly, and I mean this in the sense because obviously game 1. DJ Moore, like kind of still learning that aspect.
For sure.
He's not the same as a Bijan. He's
That's
not the same as a
fair.
Gibbs. Like, I mean, sorry, not Gibbs. In the game that we played, Gainwell. Like they're known a lot more for their running and also their pass catching, like that duality of a running back. That's something that they're really well known for. And we haven't been playing well against that.
I don't know.
I don't think Jenkins is as good as that.
So Judkins he's the real deal.
He's raw rookie, yes, but
I
think
know.
Rookies, like they have a little, like I'm always a little hesitant to like buy in on rookies because of that. And yeah, he's only had a few games, so I think there's got to be a welcome to the NFL moment. That's all I'll say.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. You look at this schedule, though. This is going to be a tough schedule. I don't know. I mean, I said the Vikings were going to win very much. I got lambasted from everybody. But you look at these games. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, Dre. I don't know. So
we
mean, what I'm saying, like I've said this on X, and like I think looking at the next schedule, every team that we play in the next 5 weeks, including the Lions, like respectively, there are vulnerabilities. Like the Eagles are not as dominant as they have been in the past few years, right?
Right.
The Chargers are not as good as everyone was thinking them. They have lost, like they have made it work. Even Detroit, again, respectively, they have shown to have weaknesses. Baltimore, they also have been shown to have weaknesses. Obviously, they're having a fumbling trouble, even with Henry. And then, like, I don't know if at this point, I don't know if Lamar is going to be 100% when that game comes around. So like the next few games, there's vulnerabilities that we can take advantage of. Having said that, I'm going to go into each week. I don't know what's honestly going to happen. We'll see what happens. But I will say, after the Browns game this week, we have the week bye, which means a lot of the players that are injured are coming back come week 7.
Yeah, that'll be and obviously it'll be a JJ game as well, probably for sure, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
you have hope. I appreciate that. I appreciate the hope and everything like that. So when I'm looking at this game, so let's see, you seventh letter, did you go with the Vikings on that one? This one?
I'm gonna go with the Vikings, but don't play around. That's all.
Don't play around. All right. I'm going, obviously I've been swayed here kind of like with who's out. I'm going to say the Browns actually win 20-13. And Judkins, I think, is going to have a game. And there may be a defensive score here as well. Maybe Myles Garrett gets a scoop and score, something like that. But Dylan Gabriel, I think if the Browns are smart, they're not going to put it in his hands, right? And if, what if they get Shadur Sanders a play or two and he does something? So I'm just saying
they're not going to do that.
Who knows? Maybe like a pantomime player. Like but so all right. So let's go ahead and move on to the other game. Seventh letter. When you look at the Lions game, I mean both these games, they're not really marquee matchups now, obviously with all the injuries. So when you look at the Lions, 10.5 point favorites at the Bengals. What are your keys to this game? Obviously without Joe Burrow.
Just show up.
we said that about the Packers against the Cowboys. So
I'm a Lions fan. Both our starting cornerbacks are hurt. They got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. So it's gonna be a lot of just throw it down there. Hopefully, we sign Trey Flowers or something like that.
He was with the Bears too.
Yeah, so it's like,
good luck with that.
I know. So because Reed hurt his hamstring, and Terrion Arnold, I think they give him a tough time. I think he's okay. I just think sometimes you can run him across the field. I hope we win, but again, it's just those receivers. They're They're good. They're good. But we should just honestly, I think we should just run Montgomery and rest Jameer Gibbs and try not to be too disrespectful, but it should be a blowout. Let's try.
Well, yeah,
with all the shit talk toward the Vikings, they what was the score with that game?
Like, I know.
And I'll admittedly say that the Lions are better. So,
I don't trust the Bengals quarterback in a shootout with the Lions. So,
yeah,
I don't either.
So,
the Bengals, but you know, it's just that they got those two rock stars on the outside. It kind of worries me because that's what I heard at. Like we lost both starting cornerbacks. Like that's the thing that bothers me a little bit.
Although they were held down in the last game, they didn't have a very good game. So who knows? All right, Lane, what are your thoughts on this game? Do you think the Bengals have anything to be optimistic about this week?
Not really, especially after getting thrashed by the Broncos on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that offensive line is really bad. There was a lot of instances of that they showed. Not only that did I see on Twitter, but they showed during the game, like, oh, you can't be having that. And then Jake Browning's running for his life or just getting smoked back there. So I really don't see much of a way for the Bengals to pull this one out. I do think they might surprise a little bit with both of the starting corners for the Lions being out, that, they might get a deep touchdown to Jamar Chase here and, a big gain to Higgins here, but I don't think it's going to be enough to really make it close.
All right. So what about you, Dre? Are you going with the Lions also?
Yes, very much so. I think the Lions just have overall a better offense, generally speaking, than the Bengals do. Like if Burrow was playing, I would be a little bit more worried. But I just can't trust their offense. And Gibbs has been really, really good this year. So and honestly, St. Brown has too. So can't really hold anything against them. And I think that is a really good thing. Like last year, I said, if anything, the Lions have to prove that the coaching is the issue and that they didn't lose the big things. Obviously, with their OC and DC leaving, but if Campbell can keep it going, like they have the team to do it, and I would not. I like Stefanski as a coach. Obviously, he comes from Minnesota. I have the Minnesota coaching staff, so I have nothing against him. But Campbell is aggressive, and they have obviously been playing very aggressive. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Lions in this one.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at obviously what they have, obviously Bengals have great wide receivers. And at the beginning of the season, we talked about this before. I was worried about us facing the AFC North, I was too. Like when you look at this, like no Burrow, injured Lamar, plus the whatever happened to the Ravens defense. I tried to have them in fantasy, but I'm not touching them. Right, like they've got. Like they're giving up. Like I could walk out and maybe get a touchdown or two on that defense. So like I mean, and you look at that, and it's an interesting division now. So I mean,
AFC East is the one to deal with.
It is
at least the Bills. I'll say that.
So yeah, and with what the Lions are doing now, I think they're starting to roll. And obviously, I think defensively, the Lions are, even though maybe they're banged up, they're starting to kind of, figure some things out. And I think the Lions are actually going to win 34-13 here. I just
it's about to get freaky out there. It's about to get freaky.
Yeah. So when you look at the two games that we have this week, division wise, I think both of them are going to be. I guess I picked the Browns, so that might be at least entertaining that way. But I just think the Lions are going to role in this one. So, but when you look at it, I mean, hey, anything can happen to the NFL.
Mhm.
Anything can
That's
happen.
what I said.
Any given Sunday.
That's what makes the NFL the best league in the world, man. Who would have thought?
It is.
Sunday.
So as we kind of finish out, we'll just talk a little bit about buys. Obviously, I'm glad you have that you joined us, Lane. Talk a little bit about kind of what you're looking for, hopefully for the Packers during the bye week. And, obviously it's nice to get healthy and all that. So what are you, looking for with the Packers this week?
I think that's the main thing is getting healthy. That offensive line has been very suspect after Aaron Banks and Zach Tom got hurt. Zach Tom tried it against Cleveland, and it lasted a play or a series. I think it was just 2 plays, and he came out. But getting him back would be huge. Getting Aaron Banks back would be even bigger because Jordan Morgan is not being the guy at left guard for sure. I was not high on that draft pick to begin with, so seeing him fizzle out is kind of proving the point that I had at the time. But getting that offensive line back is going to be massive for them if they can get both those guys back, which I think they're expecting both of them to be able to return after the bye week. And they have to do something about this kick protection because back-to-back weeks of blocked field goals cannot be happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, when you look at last year, I mean, that's kind of what they blocked the Bears kick. It's been an interesting roller coaster.
It's like how I feel to be on the other side, huh? How I feel to be on the other side. He blocked the kicks. I know you was happy. I know you were crying in the house like, Ben Johnson is the greatest. Ben Johnson.
I've had too many blocked Packers kicks that are heartbreakers. So I don't get too excited because I know one's coming.
All right. Well, speaking of a team that's coming, my Bears, we're on the rise. Like I said, 2-2 going to the bye. I think that was huge to have that win. Obviously, I'm looking at the Bears to get healthy. We have some players that have been injured. Hopefully, we're going to get some players back. After the bye. I don't know. Seventh letter. I like having buys a little bit later. Obviously, having it this early is tough. But whenever it happens, it's nice to have that time to kind of get healthy and all that. With my Bears, we've been missing Jalen Johnson. I mean, that's been huge. We've been missing Colson Loveland this past game. He's hopefully going to get healthy, and just having that full complement of offensive weapons, continuing to kind of learn and grow in that offense, with Caleb Williams, and I'm excited to kind of see that progression in what he is going to continue to do. I believe Grady Jarrett should be back on the defense after the bye. TJ Edwards, so those are it's going to be helpful, and I'm really hoping Kyler Gordon is going to be back as well. That was kind of the rumor prior to this week that Kyler Gordon would be back for this past game. But and you start to get some of those players on the defense healthy, and then our defensive coordinator Dennis Allen is going to be able to do a few more things, blitzing and just really kind of doing what he wants to do. But we've really been hurt in the secondary, and that's really hurt us that way. I mean, Jalen Johnson being out now, he's on IR, so. I'm looking forward to us finally being able to put things together. And in previous years, we've had to do the same thing, but we've had losses, and that just continues to mount. They said that, passing out game balls in the locker room, that these are the type of games that they lost last year, and that's how you change a culture. So I'm excited, and hey, exactly what I said. Seventh letter. What did I say? 2-2 after 4, right?
You're right.
2-2 after 4. Finally. Hey, something's going to stick eventually. So, hey, it's not really all that eventful of a week for the division, but obviously, I think for the most part, I mean, there's still games out there to be won within the division.
100%. I mean, we're all like arguably like within one game of each other. So I think like the division is still like, I will say, if anything, the Bears are still at the bottom, and that is what it is. Like they're gonna take back the North, and who knows if they're gonna give it back.
All right. I'll throw this question out since you kind of did that. Lane, would you rather be the Bears, what the Bears have right now, or the Vikings? It's okay. You can say Bears.
I know. You know where I'm going. I think I might lean a little bit towards the Bears right now, just because they have more of a set direction that where they're wanting to go. The Vikings have question marks at quarterback, and that's a huge thing to have in the NFL these days. Is you can't. How many teams are winning consistently enough with just a average guy in there? You know, we don't know if J.J. McCarthy's the guy yet because he hasn't looked the greatest in his 2 starts, and Carson Wentz we know isn't the long-term guy. So
you're making him leave.
Long-term Bears.
The Vikings guy's leaving mid. You don't jump out the window. All right, 7th letter. He's turning toward he's looking long in the out the window. 7th letter. Would you rather be the Bears or the Vikings?
I probably would rather be the Bears at the moment. I just think Carson Wentz is a bum. Like I don't trust him. You know
what is y'all's opinion of Josh Dobbs though?
Huh?
Okay, yeah.
Hit or miss.
And again, and that's fine. Like I'm nothing against Josh Dobbs. It's like, okay, yeah, I get respect. But again,
this right here is the reason. This is the reason why, arguably, and I will say this at the end of the day, look at Jamar Chase's stats outside of Joe Burrow. Outside of Joe Burrow. Versus this man's stats outside of Joe Burrow. Who has had better stats?
Hey man, it's like I said. It's like it depends on what. Like I like Jamar Chase better, but clearly, Justin Jefferson at the moment, kind of you tip your hat that direction. But I like Jamar Chase. I just like bigger receivers personally.
Can I drop some stats here, or at least ESPN ranks DJ Moore and Rome Odunze as the top 2 wide receivers on their receiver analytics score sheet, and that's all that needs to be said. DJ Moore and Rome Odunze
not all that needs to be said. Like that.
It was tweeted out, so it has to be true. Absolutely has to be true.
Facts. Twitter facts.
This is why. This is why.
Hey,
this is why we check that shit.
This man, St. Brown, is better. I will take St. Brown over all that. So I will take that.
You know what's better though? 2 over 1. So I'll take 2 over 1.
Yo.
DJ I will take number 3 in the division over number 4. So
hey. All right. All right. Well, this has been definitely a fun episode. I definitely appreciate everyone coming on. Dre, where can everyone find you as we close out?
Y'all can hit me up on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. It's at Coleman Sports. Love coming on. It's honestly a lot of fun to talk about. Honestly, football in general, but then definitely Vikings football. I love being able to express all my feelings no matter what. I will put everything out that I say on X, but it's definitely good feelings to have it said out loud on this. So I definitely appreciate coming on. So thank you.
We have to give you credit because last year, previous years, Vikings loss meant no Vikings person. So you are good natured about it and you come on. So we appreciate it.
I'll come on every time. I'll come on every time, even with the wins and losses. I will come on, and even ties like some people on here. So I will come on in any sense.
That's what I forgot. I was going to do that. I was going to wear a tie when I came on today. And just, I was going to wear a tie to work as well, living here in Wisconsin. But, it's always fun to bring that up. But Lane, always a pleasure to have you on as well. Where can everyone find you as we close out?
Always a good time being on here. It's L Hankins 4 on Twitter, on TikTok. Either one of those works for me. And ties feel like losses, so that's how I've been feeling since then.
Absolutely. Going in the bye, it's tough to have that feeling. So especially when it was a team that should have been gettable for the Packers. Obviously, we'll see kind of after the bye week how they kind of turn that around. But definitely appreciate you having you on. Like, subscribe, all of that, and maybe some TikTok dances.
I haven't ventured into that realm, and I don't know that I will, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, probably same. So everyone can find me on NFL Outdated on YouTube, on Twitter X, on Instagram, and us on Freezin #4 Pod on the TikTok. And 7th letter. Where can everyone find you, sir?
7th letter 4 on Twitter X, same OG on Instagram and Facebook. Live from the French Riviera.
You are living the life and sharing.
Yeah, I woke up at 4:30 for this. Back on top, Daddy's home, King of the North. You know where else you can find me? On top of the NFC North again.
There he is. There it is.
There it is. Well, I appreciate everybody for commenting, following. Definitely love every week. Catch us 9:30 CST on Wednesdays. Thanks again, everybody, and have a great week. Enjoy your time off if you not watching the games, and enjoy the games as well. Good night, everybody, and bear down.